What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Relaxing Thoughts Podcast. I'm your host, Digital Relaxation, and we are back again with another episode. And as always, if you guys enjoy what you hear, what you're gonna hear, please be sure to share this podcast, rate it, all of that good stuff. Um, but yeah, this episode, as always, I always say that episode might be short, then it end up not being short. I don't know, but this one might be short, so we'll see. But yeah, as always, start off with what I've been up to. Not a lot. And some of it is going to go with my main topic, so I'll save that when I get there. So let's start with my gaming section. As you guys been knowing, if I've been following my journey, I've been trying to 100% Cyberpunk, and I finally did it. 100% done with Cyberpunk. Well, achievements. I still got two things I want to do personally. Because when I did the last achievement, I was on my third playthrough, but I didn't finish my story. Which I am at the last. I'm already at the last mission. The game is very short. If you just do the main mission, the game is short. But yeah, so I want to do the last mission just to get myself the specific ending I want, just so that third playthrough can have a conclusion to its story. But I also want to go back to my second V, and I want to redo. I want to redo the ending. I want to do the secret ending, not the. I don't know if it's spoiler, but not the dark one. If anyone knows what I'm speaking of, but the other one, if you when you have options, and basically you have an option to not make an option. I want to do that one, and I want to do it on hard just to see how good my hacker V really is. Just hack my way through the whole entire ending. But yeah, finally 100% Cyberpunk. I don't know. I feel. Well, let me talk about the journey for people who not knowing or who haven't been following. So my Cyberpunk journey started, well, on release date. The dude I was talking to at the time was kind of hyping the game up. He was excited for it. I had no expectation for it other than the fact that the same people that made Witcher 3 made it. And granted, I enjoyed Witcher 3 as a game. I just don't. I can't get into the whole that setting of like the medieval fantasy settings of using witchcraft and dragons and all of that, which is funny because I started in well, I didn't start, but I mean, yeah, I kind of started my online gaming life on RuneScape, which basically is that the whole medieval setting and using magic and all of that. But even that game, it's like I didn't care for the. I guess I didn't care for the fighting mechanic of the game. I just like role playing and exploring. But people I was playing with started getting too heavily into the combat, so there was a disconnect, and I got bored with the game because I got to a point where I was like basically playing by myself, so I just stopped playing it. So yeah, so no expectation for Cyberpunk whatsoever. A lot of people hyping it up. I did not even watch like the E3 trailers or none of that. Yeah, all I know, which is funny because I should have seen it coming, but because it was one of those, oh, I remember moments when it finally happened. But I do remember, like, they even teased, like, in the trailer of V getting betrayed by Dexter. But I completely forgot that happened till it happened. I was like, oh, wait, that was in the trailer. I was like, oh, because I didn't even know, like, when I first played the game, I was playing the game normally, like, in a sense of I was doing I was doing the main missions, and then I was doing side missions, but I was doing a lot of the side missions, and then I would come back to the main mission. So I was gearing up for the heist, thinking like the heist would be like a pivotal midway story. I did not know basically the prologue to the game. So I was like getting myself set up for those heist missions because I thought this was like gonna be like the middle of the game basically. And then after you do the heist and then you get the cyberpunk logo, I'm like, bro, what? The game just basically started. I already sat here and did all of this. So that was weird. But so yeah, by the time I got to Dexter betraying you, like, oh yeah, I forgot he does that. um, but yeah, so got the game. I didn't properly immerse myself into the game, like in terms of the mechanics. Like I wasn't making no builds. I didn't even know about making certain builds. Like I just thought the way I thought about the game was very like black and white, I guess. I don't know. Like I thought that you could just unlock everything in the skill tree eventually. So I kind of got like, I guess, intimidated by the skill tree because I'm like, bro, I gotta unlock all of this just to become good. I'm like, I don't want to do all of that, not knowing that it's like for specific. If you want to make yourself a specific way. So I was just unlocking stuff, whoever that sounded cool. I was like, yeah, I guess I'll use this. I was like, all right, I guess I'll get that. All right. So, but for the most part, I guess I was playing a shooter gameplay, but it was more like there was no skill behind it. I was just running around shooting stuff. And yeah, dying a lot. But yeah, so I just ran through the game, and I recently booted up my first playthrough character, and like I didn't even like level my any of my skills up to like level 10. Like I literally just ran through the game like doing whatever. So I didn't care much about the whole mechanic of the games or whatever by the time I beat it. So I beat it, and I don't know, I just left it alone. Of course, all the issues that came with the game, all the bugs and glitches that was happening, that was already a turn off as well. I think that was the first time I had a game that, like, my game crashed like a couple of times playing the game. So I was already getting spooked out, like, oh, if it crashed one more time, I'm just gonna like uninstall it or whatever. I ain't taking that risk. But yeah, so I held in, beat the game, whatever. I didn't really like the ending I got, but yeah, so like whatever. And then I don't know, something about Night City. I want to say not so much Cyberpunk. Something about Night City just stuck with me though. Like above all things else, they crafted a very nice world. And I don't know, something about that world kind of stuck with me. But I still didn't play the game for like a while. Basically, I didn't play the game until they did the big hot patch. I think it was the 1.4, 1.5 patch or whatever. And I didn't play the game again till then. So, and I've been wanting to play the game again. I was like, I want to give the game another shot, but I just didn't feel like going through all the bugs and glitches. And then coincidentally, they're like, oh, we dropping this patch. And I'm like, well, what do you know? So it's a sign for me to just come back and do it, because I've been wanting to do it, but I just didn't want to go through all those issues again. So they dropped the patch, booted it up, started playing it, made my second V, this time female V. and I was finally like thinking of like a story. So how do I want my character? So I made her a street kid, and just thinking about like her look and what her look like represents and what she would do. So I was like, oh, I think I'm gonna make her basically like this very intelligent street, like, a street kid. Like, she grew up in the streets, but she's very intelligent. Like, she knows all about her tech and all of that. She's a great hacker. Well, I guess they call her net runner and all of that. So that's basically what I've been basing her around. Like, I made her like dope at hacking and a pistol. Like, she's good with pistols. I don't use any other weapons. I only use pistols and hack. Rarely I would use a katana, but I'll use a pistol and hack. So I'll level up the pistol perks, and I'll level up my hacking and my stealth, so that I won't get caught just running around just stealthing and hacking everything. And yeah, that was and I was like thoroughly enjoying it, because now I had a structure to the game and I had a connection to my character into the game. Like, oh, now I understand how to use your skill trees and how to make a class and all of that. So like, this is actually good now. And on top of that, like I said, Night City, I don't know, that place, like, they crafted a great world, and I was just getting lost in it, just doing all the weird stuff. So it got to a point before I beat the game that I decided I might 100% this game. So I was just doing stuff and looking at the achievements and seeing what I can do. So one of the first things I did was the tarot cards, which is basically there's like these graffitis all around the map that you can scan, and they are like tarot cards. So you can go to Misty and she'll tell you like the fortune or whatever. And it's a great way to do two things. One is personal, one is just, it's a great way to explore the map. Just just enjoy Night City, the Badlands, everything. Just like, it's a great world they crafted. But also it helps with the achievement to get in the fast travels, because most of the time while you're driving around the entire city going to different glyphs, which I recommend you drive to them instead of just trying to fast travel, you unlock various fast travels. There's some that's like out there hidden, but for the most part you'll get a lot of them. I probably had like 4 or 5 left that I couldn't find naturally by the time I got to the achievement. So yeah, it's a good way you get both those achievements knocked down. And yeah, just started slowly grinding away and doing the achievements, and to the point where I realized that I was gonna have to make a third playthrough, because some of these achievements require you to basically have a specific build, kinda, to do certain things. So more so, had to kill I think 50 or 100 people with melee weapons, which, like I said, my V is not an expert at melee weapons. Granted, I did buy like I bought the nano wire and the what the heck is oh my lord, the word is right there. I don't know, but the blade that comes out your arm. Why can't I think of the word? But yeah, I bought those for both my female V, but I played with them for a little bit, but I'm like, it don't feel like her. So I stopped using them. Mainly use the Gorilla Grip. Mainly use that so I can do the fighting side quests when you have to go and do fighting. But yeah, so I realized she's not an expert with using melee weapons. So I'm gonna base my next playthrough with the person who basically he's a swordsman. He's a ninja samurai or whatever. So that's gonna be my guy. And on top of that, I needed to use a specific cyberware mod or whatever. But the problem is I need my body to be at least level 16 to have that installed. And the way I build my female V, I didn't focus on the body. So, and I was already maxed out, so I couldn't level it up anymore. So I had no choice but to make another playthrough. But yeah, I mean, I could have probably went to my first V, seeing that he was still bare bones, and I didn't really do much with him after I beat the game. But I feel like going back to him, I feel like he's like just cluttered. Like he does everything, but not greatly. So like I'm just gonna make another person and just focusing on making him one thing. So yeah, I made this dude just basically a ninja samurai dude who just runs around, and I slow down time and just cut people up. But yeah. Finally 100% of Cyberpunk, and that leaves me with the void of what to play next. I've basically been playing Cyberpunk for the past 2 months. That should have been like my game all this time. And I never even thought I would be that deep into the game. Just to show how well that game has progressed from its initial launch. So yeah, definitely, if you have not played Cyberpunk before, or whatever that reason that made you stop, I do recommend playing Cyberpunk. It's a very good game. It's a very appreciated game too. Like I see like a lot of the community really love this game and support it and all of that. So yeah, Cyberpunk. But yeah, now I need another game. And especially with Summer Game Fest that just recently happened, a lot of games being announced and whatnot. So it's too much, but it's not. But yeah, I'll see. I'll check my backlog, see what games I'm probably close at being 100%. Probably just gonna jump on that and do it. But yeah. So I did not talk about this, but this has been something that's been on my mind. I think I mentioned it before though. So I mentioned that I may have mentioned it, but I had a video game regret. I had one video game regret in my life. I mean, probably more if I nitpick, but that one really bothered me. And that was traded in my PS Vita for the PlayStation VR headset. That was the worst decision I ever made. Because I barely touched the VR headset since I got it. And I've been missing my Vita badly and wanted it back ever since, especially because, funny enough, like, cause I was kind of done with my Vita too, because they wasn't supporting it, and I was like, the Vita getting kind of dry. I don't know what to do with it no more. So I checked out if there's ways to mod it, and there was. So I modded it, and now playing. And mainly I modded it so I can emulate PSP games, because my PSP is, I don't know what happened to it, but it's like so messed up that it's like it can read some games, but you gotta be at an angle, like, because the disc will, like, I guess it will just somewhat jump out of place if you move too much. I mean, that was always a problem, but this one is like more sensitive, so I don't know if like it got worn down over the years, so I can't really play my PSP games. So I got like this stack of PSP games that I can't play, and I'm like, well, why not just emulate them on my Vita? So that's what I was doing. And then my boy, who at my old job I was working with, because he was trying to sell his VR headset so that he can buy a Vita, which he was having a hard time doing. Which now I see why. Because to me, I thought I was all like, oh, VR headset. Like, who don't want a VR headset? Like, especially like the Vita is kind of dry and dead now. Like, ain't nobody really. I guess that sounds like a no brainer. Like, sure, I'll trade you my Vita for your headset. Um, so yeah, got it. Messed around with it for a little bit, and I was like, more importantly because of where I was too. My room was too small at the time where I was staying at, so I couldn't properly enjoy it. So no, maybe I got it set up in my living room now, but I just never got around to using it. So I don't know. Maybe someday I'll get to it. But yeah, so I've been missing my Vita, and I finally cracked. I was like, you know what? I don't care. I need to get my Vita back. So just been researching. Like I said, when I get into something, like I start researching heavily and get obsessed with it and try to cover all bases and whatever. So I was figuring out the best way to buy a Vita. So no, first I just went in blindly, like, oh, let me just hop on Amazon and see how much a PS Vita costs right now if I was to try and get one from Amazon. And let me see if I can pull one up. Like, they almost hitting $300 if you was to order one. Damn, one is hitting $430 if you was to order them from Amazon. But so I did more research on where I should try to like get them, even eBay. But I don't know. Like, I know growing up, eBay didn't have a good rep. I'm sure it's better now, but I don't know. I guess that kind of never left my mind. And plus, it's weird because it's like a bidding thing, so it's not like you 100% just say, "Hey, I want this. Can I buy?" It's more so like who gives them the best offer. So if a lot of people want it, that is, and it's confusing as well. Like, you don't like, I don't understand how it works. Like, I don't know, it's too much. So yeah, I did more research on where to get it, and I ended up basically importing one from Japan, and it cost me $93 from opposed to these that's hitting $300. So I got my Vita for a good deal. The only thing that's different between a Vita that's made in Japan and the one that's from US is that they basically swapped the circle and X button in terms of the function, which is basically how the Switch is. So I didn't mind it because the Switch is basically like that. So X button is basically to go back in Japan, as opposed to it's usually how we confirm things and go into things. So they just reverse. But luckily, since I got my Vita, I modded it and all of that, and there's actually a mod setting that reverses that, so that's back to normal. So I got it back to normal, and yeah, I got my Vita back. And this one is different. The one I had originally, I got the Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation bundle, the white Vita. I think for Christmas or for my birthday a few years ago. But that's the one I had originally. This one is black, and it's the 3G one, which I mean, I don't really think that's important now, seeing that I think it's kind of discontinued. But I did see that there's a way that you can actually internally mod your Vita to swap out the 3G piece and make it in a basically an internal memory card. Maybe someday I'll do that, but not now. I'm good with where I'm at. Like, I'm just testing to see how much I'm going to be on my Vita. Like, I don't want to be putting so much memory in it and I don't have, I'll be seeing there's videos of people having like 500 games on their Vita. I'm like, bro. But But yeah, the Vita is a lot smaller than I remember in my hands. I don't know, but I miss it. So it's back with me. Not the exact one, but it's back with me. My nitpick, because I've been watching a lot of videos of people ordering Vitas from places, and everybody who gets their Vita, they always come in the box and everything. So I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to get my Vita. And then I see, and then I go outside to see my package, and I'm like, yo, this box looking kind of small. But I don't know, maybe I'm just bugging because I haven't seen a Vita box in a while. So maybe I'm bugging. So basically, yeah, the person I ordered from did not have the actual Vita box, which sucks because I like to collect things like that, or I like to save things like that. I keep all my boxes of all the stuff that I use. So in the event, well, more so as in recently when I moved and got my place, I was able just to put all of my consoles and stuff right in their box so that they won't be all over the place and everything nice and safe. But also in the event of, God forbid, I ever had to sell, which I'm most likely not, but if I ever had to sell my console or something, like, hey, I have it all in the box for you as if you just got it. So I like that presentation, I guess, of it. So sadly he didn't. He didn't have a box. He just wrapped it all up in bubble wrap and then wrapped that up in like the cardboard paper type style and then put it in a box. And yeah, and sadly he didn't give me a memory card. I'm like, bro, come on, you know how hard it is to get these things. Well, not even how hard it is, not how expensive it is to get these things. So yeah, which sucks because I had to end up buying one. I bought a 4 gigabyte one because you need a memory card to mod it. And this is the original OLED one, not the slim one. The slim one comes with an internal memory card, so it kind of gives you that edge. But yeah, I wanted the OLED screen. I didn't want the LCD screen. So yeah, back with my Vita, having fun with it. Good times. I already got a few games on there. Wasted no time modding that thing. It's like it never left. Now I feel complete. But yeah, that's mainly it for my gaming. Cyberpunk, my Vita, and looking for the next adventure. And I also recently thought of a podcast idea that I should have made this podcast based off of, and I'm upset that I'm now thinking about it. I'm not gonna say it because I don't, in case I ever do it. If I do it, it's gonna be a brand new podcast, but I don't know. But yeah, I'm upset about that. So I kind of slapped myself in the face. I'm like, bruh, why didn't I think of this? Like, whatever. Going on to the next segment. I might go by this one quickly because I didn't really do much. Film and TV stuff. I haven't been watching really anything besides YouTube videos and PS Vita videos. But I did finally watch the latest James Bond movie, No Time to Die, which again, my complaint about the Craig era Bond, that all of his movies are connected as one whole story, so you must remember and watch all the other ones. As I said, where I grew up with the Pierce Brosnan era, kind of. I mean, technically he started before my time, but by the time I grew up, he was Bond. Like, I grew up with the 64 GoldenEye was my first video game I ever owned, so in my eyes he was always James Bond. And then the movies and games that came after. They even made, what game is it? One of my favorite James Bond games too. Everything or Nothing. They use his likeness and his voice acting to play James Bond, and it's a completely original story. Um, so yeah, like that's how I'm like, and then even some of the other Bonds, like they don't use his voice, and they don't use his face to a T, but you can kind of like, oh, like he was the core basis of this Bond model, but obviously for likeness reason they didn't just go all the way in. But yeah, so but yeah, like Pierce Brosnan movies, like well, he only had 4 movies, which kind of sounds weird. I gotta go through all the Bond movies. I seen a few that's before Pierce because I love the Baron Samedi character. So I wanted to watch his movies. But I'm like, I feel like all the other Bonds before him, like they had, I think only one of them was like 1 or 2 movies who had a short like Bond tenure. But I always felt like all the other Bonds like had their a good run. Well, I don't know. 4 movies is not. 'Cause I think this one is 4 movies too, right? It was Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace. Then it would be Spectre and this one, right? So that's 4. Unless I'm bugging. Let me see. That should be 4 though. They showing me all of them. God dang. Yeah. Oh, Skyfall. So that's 5. All right. So he had 5. Pierce Brosnan had GoldenEye, of course. Tomorrow Never Dies. The World Is Not Enough. And I just recently watched it too. What the heck? What is that one called? Jesus. The last one he did. Die Another Day. Yeah, I literally just recently seen that one too. I recently watched The World Is Not Enough and Die Another Day, because they have like damn near basically all the James Bond on Amazon Prime right now. Prime Video. If you guys are in the mood for watching some James Bond, like the whole franchise is kind of on there. Even the new movie, that's where I seen it. So yeah. But this man had 5. Pierce only had 4. So, sucks. But yeah, I keep jumping all over the place. But Pierce movies, like only the characters carry over in the story. The only character who portrayed themselves from a previous movie and came back would be the dude who played Valentine. He came in GoldenEye, who was I guess a rival of Bond, because Bond, he was known for, I guess, killing double O's, because when James Bond pulled the gun on him, he recognized the sound of the gun and he pinpointed exactly what type of gun it was. He's like, it's a few people. I think it was like only 3 people who own that gun or whatever, or 4 people. He like, I killed 2 of them. So he knows, like, oh, so James Bond. But James Bond also, like, he shot him in his leg, so he gave him an injury. And then he came back in The World Is Not Enough, which is 2 movies later. So that was the only time like a connection really mattered. But you can literally watch Tomorrow Never Dies and then watch GoldenEye backwards and whatever. Just, you can watch the movies in any order and not feel like you missed anything. And you might do that in the previous movies too. I'm not sure, but yeah. And this one is like, nah, you have to remember all the movies, because even in this last movie, the issues from the very first movie is still haunting him to this day. So that's tough, because as you already saw that, I just forgot Skyfall name, which I don't know. I forgot Skyfall name, but Quantum of Solace story I do not remember at all. That's the second one. And I kind of don't really remember a lot of the first one either, but I know like the main pivotal point of it, because they highlight it in almost every movie. But yeah, like you guys sit there and remember that. So I was watching the last movie and it was like, I already forgot what happened to Spectre, kinda. Like I didn't even remember. I was like, did they kill Blofeld? I didn't remember. Like, oh, he's still alive. Okay, whoa, my bad. So yeah. But anyways, enough of that. My ranting and nitpicking. The movie. Obviously, I'm not gonna spoil. I'm not even gonna really go into depth with reviews or anything. The movie is solid. I won't say it was great, even if you know like the whole storyline. Like I don't know. There were some things I didn't really like, and some things that were just, that's cool. His character kind of feels different too. Like, I feel like his character has been different in like almost every movie. Kinda, I don't know how to explain. Well, this is the first time we see a completely different side of him, which I can't. No, it's a spoiler, so I can't talk about it. But so it explains, because we always know James Bond for being a certain kind of guy, and this is kind of the first movie where he's not that, basically. So it's like losing what made you. So it's like, am I still watching a James Bond movie or what? So yeah, I don't know. It's all over the place, but it's decent. It's not bad. It's just something to watch, honestly. I guess I'm just looking forward to what comes next now. But yeah, other than that, that's it. I haven't really been watching anything else aside from the other James Bond movies. I didn't feel like I didn't need to talk about it, but since it all connects, there you go. I've just been watching James Bond and Vita videos. Music, ain't been really listening to anything. Well, at least I've been listening on autopilot, so I've just been letting whatever play. But on the personal level, I've finally gearing up to releasing my project, Deliberation. I'm trying to go for a 4th of July release. I dropped the song to play as my quote-unquote single, and yeah, just gearing up to release that project, and then I can finally just shift my focus, which is going to lead into my main topic. But yeah, that's mainly everything I've been up to, aside from the big thing I've been up to. But I just want to slightly touch on this in the event of people who probably want my opinion or thoughts on this. We recently had the situation with the abortion laws. We just had that happen, and people are in uproar, more so women. But yeah, that's something I'm not going to touch on unless I have a guest that I can trust having that conversation with, so I'm not going to touch on that. The only thing I'm going to say is look further. Just open your eyes, because there's a lot going on, and this is just something else to put over your eyes. But yeah, so going into my main topic of what I've been up to, this might be long, so this might pad out the rest of the episode. what I've been up to mainly is trying to, I don't know if what the word I want to use, because I am all over the place emotionally and mentally. I don't know if I'm trying to come to terms with it, or if I'm just I'm already coming to terms with it, and I just need to start doing it, I guess, and start putting it into practice. I don't know. But it's being alone. I'm starting to realize that I need to start doing it more. I know that probably in my situation, a lot of people that might be a concern of theirs. Most of family members, now that I'm in my own space, they don't want me to start becoming like an outcast and a loner. But I think that was something I've been looking forward to when I made this move. I've been wanting to finally just be comfortable being with myself. So one of the reasons why I say that is also to do with my recent project. I don't want to bad talk anybody or whatever. How you feel about it is whatever, don't care. But making this project, for the first time making music, I've almost had my spirits crushed doing this. And I'm not doing this so, no, I'm not trying to become a famous rapper. I'm not trying to be, whatever, clout. I've been doing this as a outlet and a way to just, get things off my mind, off my chest, and just create things, because I love creating. Creating is just what makes me happy. So I love when I just come with, one song to two songs to a whole project, and it's it's the idea of, what if I was a rapper? What if I was making an album? What would it sound like? And these are all my attempts. What would I talk about? So that's what it's been. So with that being said, this project, I wanted this project to be not, I don't want to say this is my last project, because I tried, I guess, quitting or retiring from rap back in 2015 or 2014, and I ended up coming back 3 years later. So I don't want to say I'm done, but I wanted this project to be, in the event that I am satisfied with, I don't need to make music no more, I don't need to make projects no more, but I want this last one to be it in the event of that happening. So I wanted this one to be a very collaborative project. I wanted to get just about everybody that I know and that I'm close with to participate on this project. And as of this moment, there's still time, but as of this moment, not a single person has came through, and they have agreed. So it's not like I'm trying to force it down them. Hey, you want to do this on my project? Hey, you want to do this on my project? There's even been compromises. If I had to write certain things for them, they will do it. Whatever. I was willing to do whatever is possible, and they all agreed to it. And like I said, as of this moment, none of them have basically, I don't want to say fulfilled their end. I don't know what the words to say, but they haven't done their part. And this was talked about months ago. I've been planning this project months, and here we are, about a week away from me releasing it, and not a single person has did their part, and it broke me. It really made me question. It made me question myself more. It's not so much questioning them. It just makes me question me, because I want to, I need to understand what it is I'm at fault for too, because if I just blame them and just be mad at them, it's just gonna be a endless cycle, because I've been disappointed by my friends multiple times, but now it's like I'm allowing it to keep happening. So why? And I'm realizing that I think I keep having expectations for people, and that's my problem, because I keep expecting things and they don't do it, and I'm gonna be disappointed. So I basically had to redo my project like 3 times in the course of like 2 weeks, going through a mental, emotional slump of probably I was literally debating just scrapping this project altogether and not doing it anymore. That's how much I've lost like my spirit doing this. And that hurts me, because like I said, this is something that's, oh wait, no, music was supposed to be helping me. This is way to get things out, and I wanted to share this experience with people who knows what music do to me and how I feel about this. And yeah, so I'm realizing later. So like I said, so in the event of me making another project, I'm probably not going to ask anyone to help me ever again. So I'll probably just be doing everything by myself from here on out, and that leads to my whole just being comfortable with myself again. Cause I mean, I mention these things in my song too. It's not like this is stuff out of the blue. I talk about, like, I put myself out there a lot in many things I do. It's just up to the people to listen or figure it out. But I don't know where I was going with this. But yeah, like just constantly being disappointed, and me keep thinking that maybe this time will be different. And I get, that's the definition of insanity, I guess, trying to do the same thing over and expecting different results. Because this literally happened in the last album I did too, Cypher's Ascension, where luckily I was able to get a lot of people to help. But there was one person I also asked, and they had basically a half a year in advance of, hey, I'm doing this. I want you on this song. Do you want to do it? Yeah, all right, cool. Just send me your verse. Half a year goes by and nothing. So I just had to do the song by myself. Whatever, cool. This time, I'm like, all right, so I want to ask you to do this. Hey, can you do this? Hey, would you do this? Hey, all right. Everyone said yes, cool, all right. I look forward to hearing from you guys. And yeah. So, I don't know, like, I just need to be better at being with myself. And I wanted to talk about, I guess, my whole timeline with dealing with this situation, because I don't know I don't know if there's a term for this or something, or whatever this is, but I've had this situation of growing up at a certain age, like an age gap, where focusing on me is tricky. So what that means is I was born with an older brother. My brother and I are 5 years apart, which is a perfect age gap. Maybe if both parents are together, but I pretty much grew up with my parents being separated basically my entire life. So they had to, they take turns on basically raising us. On certain days they'll get us here, or certain years, if something's going on with my dad, like, oh, stay with your mom for this year, oh, vice versa. So it's been flipping around. It's never just been my mother and my father together with my brother. And I talked about this in a previous episode, but yeah. So the thing is, this is my point of view, not saying what things are. So this is how I see things and how I feel about things. So I'm gonna start this off with me. One thing about me is that I've always been observant of things, and I've been I guess I've been a learner, a student or whatever of life in a sense. And I've been, I don't know, it's hard to explain, I guess aware. So, and I think I accept things differently. I don't know why that always been like that, but it's been like that for a long time, where someone say something negative about me, like, that will stick with me like forever, and that will make me change things. So like, someone just joke on something about me, and something could be something simple, but like they joke on something about me, and I'm like, oh, if that's how you feel, then I guess I'm the problem. I think that's what it is. I think I make myself a victim instead of like defending myself. So it's like, oh, that's how you feel, then I guess I'm the problem, so I will stop doing this so you won't mention it no more. So I've had to shut down a lot of things I enjoy, or I had to secretly enjoy things, because I don't want nobody else to call me out on things or point it out to me. So with that being said, like I said, so at the age gap with my brother and I, my brother in a sense have to kind of come first, because he's closer in age in terms of growing up, because he's gonna be 18 a lot quicker before I am. So my father's gonna have to prepare him on becoming a young adult and becoming a man, and the time when he wants to branch out on his own, he wants to make sure he's ready for that. But the problem is, like I said, that my age gap is it's too perfect that by the time he realized it, you have a young teenager right there. Like, it's not like, oh, I just raised a teenager, now I have this child I can raise now. Like, I was right there behind you. So whatever he was teaching my brother, I had to sit there and observe it and listen to it, because it would apply to me too, because eventually either he's going to be repeating all of this stuff to me. So I would listen to it. But the problem is, not so much a problem, but the thing is, my dad was going through a dark period in his life during those years of helping my brother grow into being a young teenager. So most of his messages would come out kind of aggressive and like passive aggressive, like hostile, but not hostile. Like, I don't know how to say it, but I would just say aggressive. So it feels like he doesn't paint the world in a very nice picture. I mean, he kind of does that now, but it's like he's more clear-headed about it. But he's just more realistic about it. That's his thing. But before, it was like real, like doom and gloom, the way he made life sound when you grow up. So I wasn't looking for not looking forward to like growing up, I guess, or whatever. And yeah, like I said, and being that more so the message was more so for him, but being that I'm there, I'm in the backseat of the car, I'm always going to be around, but the message is more so for him. But I'm hearing it, so it's making me sound like I don't I'm not looking forward to like getting older. I'm not looking forward to this life because it's just not sounding good because of how he's putting it on my brother. But maybe my brother is at the age where he understands what my father is trying to say, and it doesn't sound too horrible to him. But I'm still young, so it sounds horrible to me. So it's like, damn. So, and like I said, so by the time my brother is like, oh, like literally my brother graduates high school and I jump into high school. My father was going through a situation where it was a lot, getting into a new relationship, finding a new home or whatever. So in 7th grade, my brother and I stood with my mother, and that led into basically almost a year of him not, more so not talking to me. Like, him and my brother, like, they still had that connection. Like, they play basketball together, or they go jogging together or whatever. That was their thing. I was still young and living an unhealthy life. So that led into that moment of years, like, cause that was a crucial year for me, cause I was starting to get heavily into the concept of dating and all of that, and my mother going through situations with her relationship, so she wasn't the best to get advice from, and then he's not around. And so it's like, I don't know what to do with these emotions, these thoughts, and these feelings. I'm just gonna shut them off and not think about it or do something else. So I hid away from people, I guess, in a sense, or whatever. So the thing is, like, even though I had an older brother, and then there's a situation when I had my cousins too, because we all lived in one place at one point. Being that I was too young to do the cool stuff with the older teens and adults, but being that I'm old enough that I can't be left I can't be like, oh, let's just leave him with a babysitter or whatever. Like, I was old enough where, like, they had to kind of take me. So it was like, just take him, but we can't really do nothing with him, so just leave him. So there's been so many times where I went to, like, the playground with my brother and my father or whatever, and they play basketball with people, and I'm just in the playground, empty ass playground, just playing by myself, because I don't have no one my age around, and yeah, and I'm not old enough to play basketball with the big boys. So the age group was like at a great time where I'm isolated enough to not participate, but I'm old enough to always be around, and it kind of isolated me even more because I'm watching them do things that I can't do because of my age difference. But yeah, so it's like always being alone but not being alone. So that was my thing, and then video games was my first mechanism of like, oh, these characters are here for me. Like, if they not here for me, so I would like immerse myself in these video game worlds and role play and think of stories of myself being in these worlds and living in these characters' shoes and whatever. And just, yeah. And then the problem would be I would have all of these thoughts in my head and these expectations in my head, and then when I go see my close cousins and my close friends that that's my age that I hang out with, they're not on the same thought as me, so I can't project those thoughts and feelings to them of how I would like want things for us to go, like things we should do so we can like enjoy ourselves more and have fun more, and they want to do different things, and it's like like I don't know. So, like I said, it's my problem because I always had these expectations for them, like, and when they don't do it, it's like they disappoint me, but it's like that's my fault for doing that in the first place, instead of just letting us be what we are. So it was always, so like I said, it was always a thing of being alone, but not being alone. Like I had people around, but it's like either my mindset wasn't on the same as theirs, so physically I'm there, but emotionally I'm empty, because it's like I know if we put our minds to something else and work harder on doing this, I think it would be a lot more fun if we do that. But y'all rather just make it simple. So it's like and the funny thing is, because at the time that gave me the perception of me being kind of a bully, because I would always try to like make them do things that I felt like this would be a lot more fun if we do things like this, or we do things this way, rather than done like, bro, we just want to chill and play video games and whatever. Like, bro, we can do this though. And I don't know. So, and then like they would think I was trying to like always force them into doing things they don't want to do and whatever. So that's the perception of me. So, and like I said, when I hear these things about me at a young age, it's with me for life. So now it's like, now I gotta now I have to always watch myself around people, because now it's like, if I try to be too vocal, people gonna think I'm trying to like, I'm trying to take over. And that's kind of not the case, but so I just keep them to myself. I don't speak. I don't talk to nobody, because once I start talking to you, once you start getting to know me, and there's like my mind opens, and it's like things we can do, and it's like, oh, this man, like his mind is constantly moving and he's constantly thinking about things, and I'm just still on a simple path. So it's like, yeah. So I try to let other people like dictate where things go, because leaving things in my hand, it's not gonna go well. Hence my first podcast. So yeah. So the next thing that happened in my life when I was young, before this was fifth grade, sixth, probably fifth grade. So due to my father's actions in his past and the things he was into, I ended up discovering that I had two sisters from two different women. So eventually having to come to terms that I have two younger siblings. So one, I'm not the youngest, but two, the situation of when they come into our lives, now my father being the first person here, because he didn't know about it, but now that he knew about it, and so it wasn't like that, oh, I'm pregnant, he just dipped. It was more so like, oh, as she gotten older, I'm starting to realize that she resembles you a lot, and I think this is your child. And he eventually found out, like, oh, damn. So, he did what he felt was right, which was he tried to be a part of their lives. He tried. And the thing is, what that did for me is, despite being technically I was supposed to be second in line after my brother, that threw me all the way in the back again, because now he has to play catch up with these two preteens or teenagers. I believe they was kind of teenagers by the time they was in our lives. So now he has to catch up and deal with these two teenage girls and learn who they are and learn about them and then express, put his morals into them and his teachings into them. And I'm again, I'm there, but I'm just there. So, and then at the same time, he, like I said, he got into another relationship, who he eventually married, and she has 2 kids. Luckily, the son was about my age, like 2 or 3 years younger. So, I was, doing my part in being the brother for him, and we got along. But then he had a younger daughter. But the thing is that now it's like he has to do his part to make them accept, because I had the same thing too. My mother would go into relationships and she would do it, because I wanted them to be my parents. So I don't want some next person to come up. So he had to do that. He had to make them feel like he's not just here to just take over whatever. He had to make them comfortable with accepting that he's going to be a part of their lives. So he had his work cut out for him with basically dealing with 4 new kids on top of still having his 2 main sons. So, yeah. So like I said, despite it all, I still had to play being in the background, even though I was there. And like I said, it was my turn, because by the time my brother was already getting to college and he went on his own, so he had more time to focus on me. But like I said, he has to still do other things for everyone else, and not only that, his work. So it's like, he can't be everywhere at once. So it was more so like he had to trust me, and knowing that I would just do right. And for the most part, I did, but it was just the emotional stuff that I wasn't doing right. I wasn't all right mentally. I wasn't all right emotionally. And there was nobody to help me with that. And that's where, playing video games and then eventually doing music and all of that. And yeah, so, and then just fast forward into being older, and the friends and cousins that I grew up with as we got older, and realizing the things we enjoy in life aren't quite the same. We don't have times to hang out with each other as much as we used to. And like I said, when things are told about me, it makes me keep my distance in a sense. So in a sense, I've been growing distant with all my friends and whatever. And their point of view, maybe not, but like I said, that's how I see things are different. In my point of view, I seems like everything is with all my friends, everything is getting distant more and more every day. Probably to them, like I said, they think things are still cool. It's yeah, we're busy, but we're still who we are. But it's are we? So that's my thing. So now I'm in the space in my life where it's especially with this album, the music and all of this, it's I can't keep trying to, I guess, have expectations of people. I can't keep trying to rely on people to make me feel better and make things feel enjoyable. I just need to just start enjoying things for myself and enjoying being around myself. Hence was one of the reasons why I did Cyberpunk. That was kind of the underlying reason why I 100% Cyberpunk and everything, because I just wanted to play video games for me again, man. I went through my whole high school and college years, for the most part, just playing multiplayer because I wanted to game with my friends, the friends I couldn't see often in person like I used to. This was my way to seeing them again and talking to them again. But even that was a problem because back in high school, I wasn't allowed to play video games on school weeks, only on weekends. So they would they'd be having a good time playing with each other all week. And then I would pop up in the weekend having to play catch up on everything I missed and seeing all these new friendships and bonds. And I'm like, like, who the heck is this person? Like, this person wasn't in the party chat last time. Like, oh no, he cool, man. Like, yeah, like I'm always meeting somebody new. And it's like, damn, like, it's getting to the point where I'm the new person now, despite, the bond with my initial cousin and my initial friends. Is like, I'm the new person now because of how much things go on without me. Like, life goes on without you. So instead of like just being stuck in one place, you gotta move on with life too. Like, if they gonna be doing they doing them, I gotta do me, and that's where it is now. Like, I just gotta be comfortable and just start doing things for myself more and taking power in my own hands and taking my own creative ideas into my own hands. Like I had to take this album and basically redo it so that it completely works without them. But I left it open in the event that they come out of nowhere last minute, but it's ready 100% without them. So yeah. I don't know. I feel like I could just sit there and talk about this forever, but throat is kind of getting pain talking a lot. That sucks. I don't have the voice to talk a lot or talk loudly. Like, I don't know why that is. Like, why I got this calm voice. Like, I can't project too loud or my voice would die too quickly, and I can't talk too long. So yeah, lucky me making a podcast where I talk a lot. But yeah, guess I think I'll leave it at that. So yeah, I guess I'll go with my question of the day, which would basically be, have you guys got to the point where you had to finally start accepting being cool with being with yourself, being at peace with being alone, I guess, and just being around you and enjoying your own company and your own space. Yeah, and I guess that's about it. So yeah, as always, if you guys enjoyed this episode, you guys enjoyed the podcast, be sure to share it, tell a friend, rate it, all of that good stuff. And hope you guys have a great day, great week, and it's finally summer as well. Gonna be getting nice and hot, which is not good for me. But yeah, till next time, peace.